My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Let's celebrate women for a minute. Will you celebrate women with me for a moment for this show? Could we explore feminine, I want to say magic. I mean, there's feminine power, there's feminine potency. There's also this magic of embodying the female body that I'm so lucky to get to explore this lifetime anyways. I believe that, we've been everything in one lifetime or another. I know that I've been men in other lifetimes, and I know that this lifetime I chose to be a woman. And that wasn't something I was always celebrating. I would put my attention on the limitations I saw in the world, the limitations that I had decided had been put on women, that had been put on me for being a woman. And I was always so very curious, and I would even say confused about what it even means to be a woman. I worked for a big oil company a few years ago. And when I say a few years ago, I mean like a lifetime ago. And I started kind of interning for the HR department. And so I'd process new hires. And I would see the starting salary of particular people that came in. And then I would see the difference between the males and the females. And it became undeniable to me when I transferred into a new position, out of HR into more like a data processing position. And what's funny though is I did my own paperwork, and I did the paperwork for the other person hired on at the exact same time as me. I had already been with the company for, I think, 6 months. He was brand new coming to the company. He was a male. His background had nothing to do with what his hire was for. So it's not like that's what was going on. And, his starting wage was double what my starting wage was. And no one told me it was because he was a man. But there was an awareness that I had that I didn't even know. I didn't even know back then how aware I was and how I could sense the unspoken things. But something just kept pinging me about this. Something just kept pinging me. And so then what occurs is I have to end up, because I learned with ease the new job, he did not. I was training him knowing that he was getting double my salary. And even though my employer was getting me to train him and knew how much I was excelling and how difficult of a job he was having, and that his productivity was maybe half mine. So I was still doing double the productivity of him while training him. And I got no raise, and he still maintained his salary at double mine. I didn't work there very long. What was interesting in that moment of experiencing that type of ceiling, that financial ceiling of being a woman, and being a woman, coming from HR and all of these things that, again, they're unspoken things because no one talks about that. You can get pretty big trouble if someone was to acknowledge that that's what was going on. So I saw a lot of limitation to being a female around me. I always thought, guys have it so easy. You know, here we have girls, we're desperately trying to be perfect. We have to like be the right way so that men will approach us, and we're not supposed to be too much of this and we're not supposed to be too much of that. And I had all these ideas in my head about what it meant to be a woman that I did not like. I did not like any of these ideas. And as I grow and explore, even more so in the last couple of years, what it is for me to be a woman in the world, and what I would like to create in the world with my feminine energy, I've opened up so dynamically to the possibility of being a woman and less about the limitation of being a woman. So where have you put your attention on the limitation of whatever gender you are? Whether you have a male body or a female body or anything in between. And would you explore a little bit with me the possibility? See, I was never a man hater, although I saw it around me all the time. Oh my goodness. And it was almost as though the projection was that you were less feminine if you weren't a man hater, if you were not. Like, it made you more of a woman, which is so bizarre. This conflict, this creation of polarity between men and women, between the feminine energy, the masculine energy. I would like to just embrace it all, to explore it all, to receive it all, and to have all of it contribute to my life. So there are days where I show up with a sense of what I would describe as masculine energy, and it creates something different than when I show up with what I would describe as feminine energy. And what's so beautiful and interesting is that we are all going to have a different sense of what that energy is for us based on our point of view, based on our experiences, based on everything that we've aligned and agreed with or resisted and reacted to from many, many lifetimes of being a man and being a woman and being everything in between. So as we are celebrating women this month, goodness, what a possibility to look at what about you that you could celebrate. See, I've had a lot of incredible women, ladies in my life, and more so now than ever. Because one of the limitations that I was aware of was that women are not supposed to actually come together and have each other's back. Women will stab you in the back. All of these things about the nastiness of women, and it's there. It is there. But there's also a beauty when you get to interact and engage with women that are willing to have communion, that are willing to go beyond those little whispers that try to pull you away, that tell you to create separation. There's a beauty in converging these feminine energies to create something different in the world. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for my body, as feminine as it is, and its willingness to be the energies of masculinity too. As you can see, I shaved my head and for maybe 7 years, I had a mohawk. And it was interesting how much was projected at me for being a woman with something that I guess was decidedly a masculine haircut. I didn't really see it that way. For me, it was an expression of me, the being, and the choices I was making at the time. It wasn't a proving of anything. And I get that we get caught up in that, women and men, caught up in proving that we are, you know, a powerful woman or a powerful man, or proving that we're kind, or proving that we're sensitive, or proving that we're capable, proving anything. What if you didn't have to prove that you were a woman or prove that you were a man? What if you could actually utilize all of those energies whenever it shows up, whenever it works for you, whatever it's creating, without even having to figure out what it is? How much more fun would that be? Just being here in this moment with you and exploring this possibility is actually really cool. This possibility to have all of these energies available. It starts to melt this separation that can show up, one, between you, the being, in your body, but also you and other females, other males, to really acknowledge the infinite being that has been everything, and the body itself in that moment as it's created. One of my asks this year especially has been to really allow my femininity to contribute to the creation of my life. Because like I said, I had bought a lot of points of view about the limitation of it. I had bought a lot of points of view about what it meant, what it didn't mean, and all of that. And embracing these energies and these possibilities has actually given me an even greater sense of enjoyment of my own body. That's pretty cool. And enjoyment of others' bodies. Women's bodies are so beautiful and miraculous, and so are men. I really am one of those people that just really love bodies, males, females. It's all so miraculous. It's really the word that just keeps coming up. It's all so miraculous to me that we have these bodies that can interact with the world, that can create different possibilities. And I notice myself, and this is part of my personal exploration, I notice myself being different around males and females, and certain males and certain females. And I used to have this thing where even embracing a woman, so obviously we have breasts, and there's something that shows up when a woman embraces another woman and you're breast to breast with her. And when I was younger, there would be all this bizarre stuff that would show up in my face, and I never really knew how to handle it or deal with it. And I couldn't even really understand what was there. It was just like that I was aware that it was there. And as I explore more of my own consciousness, and I have gotten really clear that what I'm perceiving is what one is supposed to come up when a woman embraces another woman, but also what's going on in the head of the woman that I am embracing, and all of their stuff and all of their points of view. Look at that beautiful light coming in. And so I do wonder, how often are you actually aware of who you're embracing and their worlds, and are you buying that as yours? So if you embrace a man, what does that look like? How long are you allowed to hug someone for before they think that you want to have sex with them? Male or female? Is there a time limit? Because maybe you could write that in the comments below, because I don't know. And what I notice often is when I embrace the body and the being will have different points of view. So the body often just will melt and have so much gratitude for my presence and my touch. And some bodies do not want me to let go. It's like, please don't let go yet. But then the being and the mind, actually, I'd rather say the mind attached to the being is going a mile per minute. And I am perceiving that mind and looking at, this is what I used to do, look at, okay, what is the correct behavior based on everything I'm picking up from this very active mind right now. I've really changed that, actually, in the last maybe couple of years. And what if you could ignore someone's mind? What if the more attention you put on it, you're actually validating its importance, its authority? You see, that shattering mind, that's not awareness. That's not knowing. It's actually the thing that is distracting you from the awareness, from the knowing. So if you embrace someone, what if you're willing to know what you know and know that you know? And if their mind takes over and they want to pull away before their body's ready, that's okay. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong. Or at least I won't make myself wrong. I might be the weirdo that that just never stops hugging people, and I'm okay with that. So to the women out there, to the ladies, there's something so beautiful and miraculous about being a woman at this time on the planet. I've been so lucky to be able to, have 2 babies, something that is part of the gift of being a woman. And that does not mean that if you choose not to have babies, or if your body is not a baby making body, that doesn't mean you're less of a woman. I don't have that point of view at all. But I do acknowledge some of the gifts of being a woman that I've been able to receive that I wouldn't if I had chosen a different body. So what could you embrace and acknowledge about you? What have you been able to receive this lifetime that you wouldn't have received if you had chosen a different body. Oh, that's a big one. um, Gary M. Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, wrote a spectacular book called the Salon Des Femmes. And I'm actually doing a book club right now. So if you want more information, I'll actually attach it to this podcast. But there's this piece in the chapter where he really invites women to look at the gift that they have available being a woman at this time on the planet right now. Because you chose your body, you chose it. You didn't just like, you know, spin the wheel and then it was like boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. No, you chose the body that you are occupying right now. You created it actually, and you're creating it right now in every moment. And what if you explored and played with what it means to you to embrace all of your feminine potency and magic, and all of your masculine potency and magic? And give your body that permission to explore, to receive, to be all of that. What would that be like for you? Do you embody as all possibilities? Have you truly acknowledged your embodiment this lifetime? And the gift that that is, not just to you experiencing this earth and this world, but the gift that it creates in the world. When you embrace someone with your body, do you allow your body to be the gift of its femininity, its masculinity? What if we didn't have to control all this so much anymore? What if you didn't have to control you so much anymore, or your body so much anymore? What would be available then? There's this beautiful song, I Am Woman. I'll probably link it in here too. But I've been listening to that this week and celebrating that I am a woman. This lifetime, I'm a woman. It's like, it's kind of like, oh, I forgot to even notice. And not, again, for making that solid or limiting what possibilities and different energies that are available, but from that celebration of living, but from that acknowledgement of the choice to embody this lifetime. And with that, the more I'm celebrating myself being a woman, the more I'm celebrating women. The joy of having women in my life, the gift that they can be uniquely. And I truly have moved out all of the mean kind, you know, those mean, vicious women. you know what I'm talking about. I've moved them out of my life. I don't have them anymore. And that's been a huge gift. So what women do you have in your life? Do they celebrate you as a woman? Do they receive you? Do they have your back? And do you have your back? And do you receive you and celebrate you? ladies, what if there was truly a different possibility now for a coming together, for a gathering, and a gathering not from separation. You know, when women get together, sometimes I see this, and now we must separate from men. I'm not into it. I love men. I'm not going to separate from them. And that doesn't make us closer. To separate from men and masculine energy doesn't make you closer to women. That's the lie. That's the lie. To come together, to be in communion, is to be in communion with everything, with everyone. And to be able to acknowledge the feminine energy in the men in your life and the masculine energy in the women in your life, and to celebrate that too, because it is fucking beautiful. Or at least it's beautiful to me. And you, my dear friend listening, whether you have a female body or a male body or something in between this lifetime, I would like to acknowledge the beauty of you. I would like to take a moment and celebrate you. And would you claim, own, and acknowledge all the gifts, all of the benefits of being you and of the body that you've created. Thank you for exploring with me. Thank you for melting into these energies with me. See, I have the sense that we can create a different world together. And so I'm really grateful for you. Because we did some magic here together. And it might not be cognitive, but it is true. So sending you a big hug and a happy International Women's Month. Happy You Month. Happy Us Month. And I will see you next week. Thank you for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?